What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In today's video, we're jumping into the Avengers issue number 18. But before we dive too deep into this, you guys have noticed there was only one video put out last week, but I promise that's gonna be a fluke. I have hired some help. We're gonna be pumping out at least 2 videos a day, 5 days a week, getting back closer to what our routine used to be. But I promise you guys, we're not going anywhere. We're right here. We're gonna keep putting out content for you, and that's what brings us into Avengers issue number 18. Yet again, the Avengers find themselves facing a world-ending threat. That threat is Hyperion. Marvel's Superman is here, but he's confused. You see, to understand this, you have to understand Hyperion. This takes us back to Heroes Reborn. This was a timeline where Mephisto really changed things up, and we had Hyperion as the supreme superhero leader of America, if you will. He had a purpose. He was loved by everybody. But when that reality was wiped away, when Blade and some of the others saved the day, Hyperion finds himself in a world where he's not loved. A world where nobody even cares who he is. And so, in a fit of absolute rage, he decides that he's going to fly directly into the Earth as fast and as hard as he can. The Avengers are now on the clock. So, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like that video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so we pick up with Hyperion flying through space. A bullet aimed at the world. Right now, he is currently outside of Pluto's orbit. At the rate he's going, he will be here in 5 hours and 30 minutes. The Avengers don't know where this guy came from. They don't know what dimension, what universe, but they have to assume that he's like other versions that they have faced. That he is perfectly capable of assuming a velocity approaching light speed in a vacuum and becoming nearly indestructible. He's gonna have enough kinetic energy to crack the world in half. And so while the Avengers, they try to brainstorm a best solution to this situation, we have the arrival of Storm, with Sam Wilson recently inviting her into the Avengers. She's yet to give a definitive answer, but with a world-ending crisis at hand, Storm's on deck. And so as Captain Marvel gives out orders to all the Avengers, Storm is sent to have a conversation with Cyclops. This is what takes her to Alaska. And while her and Scott briefly discuss the idea of her being Avenger, her not joining up with the X-Men, both of them would probably end up butting heads if they ended up on the team, because Cyclops, he's a combat leader. It's not so much equal shared decisions when it comes to Cyclops. Either he's the one leading, giving orders, or he's not. That there is no real in-between. But Storm sees this as an opportunity to work with the Avengers, to be peers with them, that maybe it's going to be good for all of them in the end. Though Cyclops will say that he thinks it's a better perception for the Avengers. Nonetheless, they have come here for Quit Inquire, our Omega level telepath and the world's last Cerebro. They are trying to find Hyperion somewhere out there in space, but with so much space to comb over. They don't know where to look, they don't know any aspect of how to find him. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. So while Tony, T'Challa, and everybody else in between tries to figure out how to solve this problem, this is when they get an incoming call from Blade. After Blood Hunt, he knows that none of them really want to talk to him. But right now, he is the only person in the world that knows what this is all about. He is the only one that remembers a world without Avengers. A world where Hyperion was the Squadron Supreme of America. A world created by Mephisto at the Sanctum with Doctor Strange. Wanda is here really filling in the gaps, saying that according to Blade, Mephisto created a world where none of the world's heroes ever became who they are. Instead, Hyperion was the world's greatest hero. In the end, the Avengers prevailed and set things right, but the only ones that remember are Blade and Hyperion. On Asgard, we have Sam Wilson and Thor. and Sam kind of feels for Hyperion. He was a hero, just like them, but the world changed around him, and in this new world, he didn't have a place any longer. Now he finds himself lost, lashing out in the way that only a superhuman could. And while Thor understands to be forgotten by the world is no small thing, the facts remain. Their duty is to the world and not to the one. But now that our team has all the pieces together, Quentin Quire, Scarlet Witch, and then Sif being their eyes, the mind comes online, the soul comes online, the eyes come online, and they search the heavens. This is a search and destroy mission. What they're gonna do is use vibranium bombs, more or less. The Impossible City is going to open up portals. They're gonna put this in Hyperion's trajectory path. They will detonate them before he arrives. Vibranium is something that he is vulnerable to. So when he flies by at nearly light speed, he's gonna fly directly through all of these shards. In theory, this should kill him instantly. And while Vision is kind of opposed to the idea that we're gonna kill him, they feel like they have no other option. The Hyperion has given them no other option as they find the bullet that is flying through space. They lock on to his location. The Impossible City opens up the portals. The missiles have been launched. Vision telling Captain Marvel that there should have been another way, and she wishes that there was. But Hyperion didn't leave them one. She thinks that this was probably by design, that he wants to die. He doesn't have anything to live for. She doesn't think that he ever thought he was going to reach Earth. She thinks that he put them in a position where they had to kill him. They're the only ones that could. This is when Vision gets an idea. Talking to the city, talking about an emergency dimensional gateway. Put it directly in Hyperion's path. Vision wants to send him to another dimension, but the problem with this is the gateway wouldn't close up. It would take hours for it to close up, and he could just come back through. But what if there was a reason for him not to come back through? With the Impossible City opening up the portal, we see Hyperion go from Earth 616 to 901. By the time that he notices something isn't right, he's off course and has slowed himself down. Not sure if the Avengers killed him, not sure where he is. This is when he sees the android of the Impossible City, and as he goes to destroy the android, the Impossible City lets him know that you lost your world. It was so great a pain that it drove you to seek death. This is something that the Impossible City understands. The Impossible City was going to end its own life before the Avengers gave it another option. That is what they are doing right now, telling Hyperion that if our world doesn't need you, then here is a world that does. This is an Earth that was scourged by monsters, its cities destroyed for sport, its people abused, its heroes murdered. The Impossible City was a slave that brought the Ashen Combine here. Just like now free, the Impossible City is bringing the ultimate savior. This is a world with no heroes. A world that badly needs one, as badly as he needs a reason to live, to choose life and be that hero. This is what picks us up a little bit later. We pick up with Storm and Thor. Now, Thor is here asking, are you going to accept being an Avenger? While this is something that she is still considering, he tells her to accept the invitation, that they are going to need you. Right now, Thor is embroiled in difficulties, falsely accused of murder, something that weighs heavy on him. This is why he is taking his leave, that this is causing too much of a distraction, and he fears that it could put the team in danger. So he tells her that you have to accept. Be an Avenger once more. Speak not only for your people, but ensure that a god of thunder rides with the Avengers still. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Definitely a fun issue. Definitely not what I expected. I love the story. Absolutely fantastic. One heck of an arc. But man, I wanted to see Storm versus Hyperion. Like, come on, you teased it. You put it on the cover. You had us believing that Storm, the goddess herself, was about to take on Superman. And then you just yank it away from us. You just yank it away. So in that regard, I am pretty disappointed. But looking past that aspect of it, this was a phenomenal way to put Hyperion in a world that needs him. A world where he can feel useful. Truth is, Mephisto really messed this boy up when he made him the Golden Child. And then all of that was taken away when the Avengers save everything. So it's going to be interesting to see the path that he takes. We can assume that he's going to stay there, help that Earth. But what kind of hero will he become? I definitely hope we get to see more of this story. We get to revisit 919 and really get to explore the world that he creates or the ashes that he may leave in his wake. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything that is going on with this series, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything that is going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership, much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.